Welcome back to the YesPhonics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Cheyenne Adamson, and this is where teachers, tutors, homeschoolers, and educators everywhere come for valuable teaching information and insights. So we're back today with another daily lesson, or I guess in this case, a weekly lesson, as it were. And before we get started, I wanted to have a quick word from our sponsor, which is, it's me. I'm your sponsor today. I just highly recommend anybody who's looking to teach the phonics, 72 Orton-Spalding Phonograms, English as a second language, or if you're teaching specifically to your K-3rd graders, to go and check out our awesome, amazing, fantastic products in the description below. You can download them via the Fetch app cart or store that we have going. And you just pay through PayPal. I think you can pay through I think you can pay with a credit card as well. PayPal's the easiest. You PayPal them, and then they'll send you the product automatically via an automatic download. And then you can get started, a little bit of do-it-yourself action, and then you can just get started teaching phonics today. So go ahead and check those out. Again, the links are all in the description below. I've got a ton of them, a ton of products on there. I've got this manual that we're going over right now, actually, a full comprehensive K through 3rd grade English as a second language phonics for English manual, and I've got the flashcards. I've got a phonetic bingo game. I've got a creative coloring book, and did I say I have the flashcards? I've got them in black and white version and a full color version as well. And kids absolutely love it. As you guys know, kids have a rage for learning, and so they're just kind of soaking up information and knowledge like sponges. With all that being said, let's just jump right into it. So we last left off on the last lesson for the scope of the manual. And it kind of just gave you a rundown of what you're going to expect while you're teaching this program. I hope that these lessons thus far have been somewhat informative and exciting, if that's possible. Now we're going to get to how to use the sequence. So this is going to give you a good preview, as you can see here, you guys, how to use the sequence, including a preview of sequences 1 through 6. Yeah, let's get started. So this program is designed to be taught or learned through the sequence. The sequence is the guide for daily, weekly, and by-the-grade teaching and learning for the YesPhonics program. The sequence guides the program step by step, coordinates the presentation of the subjects, and integrates the teaching order of the phonograms, spelling words, spelling rules, and beginning grammar with the lesson plans and worksheets. The lesson plans and worksheets are not taught in order, as in 1, 2, 3, etc. They may be used more than once through the sequence and spelling words list. So you will be flipping back and forth. And I do, again, not to plug another ad, but I do highly recommend you guys go pick up the full K through 3rd grade phonics for English manual, because you're going to be able to follow along through this with me a lot easier if you have that bad boy, and I've got it for sale, as aforementioned. But, when you're flipping through this manual, you will be kind of like flipping to a place for a worksheet in the lesson, in the manual, and then you'll be flipping back to the spot that we're actually teaching in, if that makes any sense. It's really not that big of a deal. You kind of just go along with the sequence, and whatever the sequence says, we will go and teach that. So get organized. Get organized, guys. Let's get organized. Let's get more cringe. More cringe from Cheyenne. No, let's not. So yeah, get organized. Review, prepare, and practice material to be presented in sequences 1 through 3 as follows. So sequence 1, daily read storybooks aloud. So this is, I've talked a little bit about this before, you guys, but this is great. Select an age-appropriate, interesting story or chapter book that is above the reading level of the students. So that's important. You want it to be slightly above their reading grade level and of their interest. So whatever genre that they have, just go ahead and let them pick that out. Being able to hear a vocabulary that they're not necessarily going to be exposed to every single day, There's a lot of research, and I'll link some articles in the description below on this research, but there's a lot of research suggesting that kids who are exposed to a significant vocabulary when they're young actually just pretty much from all metrics grow up doing better in every single metric that's measured, especially when it comes to obviously English and having a love of reading and whatnot, being curious about the world around them, being a critically thinking enabled individual. And they'll just do better on their tests. As much as I don't like teaching to the test and all that, they will just do better if they're exposed to vocabulary. Anyways, I'm probably preaching to the choir at this point. But yeah, sequence 1, daily read storybooks aloud. Sequence 2, manuscript writing. Review how to teach manuscript writing. And again, this is just a little taste tester, if you will, you guys. An appetizer. A little sampling of what this is going to look like. So we're not actually going to be doing any of this right now. This lesson is just going to be a little bit more of a review. When we get to sequence 2 in these later lessons, we will review how to teach manuscript writing. And then, as we go through the manuscript writing, we're going to be copying the reproducible masters with the 3-line writing paper that I've mentioned before. We're going to practice the 7 strokes used in manuscript writing and the circle on the paper, using the dialogue to teach the circle and circle points 1 through 4. And I'll be putting in, like I've mentioned before, I'll be putting in some little clips of videos because I've actually taught the dialogues and the circle sequence before. So I'll put those clips in there where they need to be because, like I joked around about before, my dad always used to say, dear old dad, always used to say, why waste work when you could just use the work that's already been done? So I've done that work, and I'm going to use it. We're also going to practice the writing. We're going to practice writing the single letter phonograms, which is the alphabet letters, and we're going to be practicing those single letter phonograms to be taught the first day, which are the circle letters are taught first, and we'll go through all that. Using the dialogues for manuscript writing letters. In the beginning, only lowercase letters are taught. The capital letters are taught as they are needed. This prevents intermixing of lower and uppercase letters, which, as you guys can imagine, takes a lot of the confusion out of learning these phonogram letters, these alphabet letters. And you want to note, how to write the alphabet letters A through Z is taught with their phonograms 1 through 26, page 29. So that's pretty important, actually, you guys. As we're learning the alphabet letters, we're actually just going to be learning them as the phonograms. So, when we're going through A through Z, we're going to be teaching A, B, K, S, D, E. And you can mention the alphabet letter names if you want, but really it's not that important. The more important thing is teaching the phonograms first and fast. And once you get more towards the spelling words section of the program, and I could be mistaken, but it's a little ways after teaching the phonograms that we'll actually be teaching the alphabet letters. Sequence 3, phonograms and flashcard handouts. Hey, wait a minute. Highlight it. Come on. There we go. Resequence the flashcards 1 through 26, A through Z, to teach the circle letters first. If needed, make flashcards from copies of the phonogram pages. You're probably just going to have to get this manual. If you want to follow along through this program with me, unfortunately, you're just going to have to get this manual. Or fortunately. I would go with fortunately, because this is an amazing manual. And you're going to want to teach this program to your K through 3rd grade student or English as a second language student. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. You're going to want to copy the phonogram sheets, which are the reproducible masters packets or phonogram pages, on single sides. And you'll cut it in half for the student's use for the first week or longer. Resequence the phonogram sheets to match the flashcards. Now, if you guys just want to make this super easy, you can just buy our flashcard phonogram pack, which is also in the link below. It will make it a lot easier because the whole entire file is set up for you to just print it, and then you can cut those. Or even better, like I've mentioned before, just take it to your local print shop and they'll cut it and collate and do all that. And boom, there you go. So you're going to determine how many phonograms are to be taught each day. Usually 2 to 4 are taught every day. So, when we first start teaching the phonograms, we're just going to teach A, B, C, and D for the first day. And then we'll go on for the next 4, and then the next 4, and then the next 4. Although, maybe we'll just do 2. Maybe 2 will be just a little bit easier. Or maybe I'll just do 3. Or maybe I'll just do 1. No, I'm probably just going to do 2 or 3. You want to allow for the elementary students, you want to allow time for elementary students to color the phonogram illustrations. And the creative coloring book is absolutely the way to go with this, you guys. Because then they can sketch their own illustration as well, and that is in the link below. Gosh, I'm just plugging everything again. I'm really sorry about that, you guys. I'll try not to do that, but I'm just trying to reiterate that there are these products available. So as we're going through this, you're not going, where do I get this, and how do I do this? Older students enjoy this exercise using markers or paints. Use this activity as a time for the students to mentally practice and anchor the sound sequences. I can talk, I promise. Rehearse the caption that depicts the order of use frequency. So yeah, the caption is obviously just going to be like, for the phonogram letter A, let's just take that for an example. It will be the sound sequence, the caption, have a ball. As you can see, it has the 3 sounds of the letter A, have a ball. The 26 single letter phonograms, 1 through 26, A through Z, will take 13 days to teach, so 2 a day. So we're just going to go with that. After that, we're going to review how to teach flashcards and phonogram sheets. We're also going to practice dialogue for single letter phonograms. We're going to practice dialogue for phonogram pages. And we're going to practice the sound sequences of the phonograms to be used the first day. It's not necessary for the teacher to know the sounds in the sequence at this time, as they will have the cards available. So yeah, that's really important, you guys. You're not going to have to know. You're not going to have to know jack. All you're going to have to do is grab the phonogram card and say what's on the back of the phonogram card. I'm sorry. All my Southern educators, I'm really sorry. I had to just get my terrible Southern accent in there. No offense. You guys are awesome. How to write the alphabet letters A through Z is taught with their phonogram. Oh, sorry guys. I should be highlighting this so it's a little bit easier. And I also learned that I gotta put this a little bit higher on the screen recording so you guys can actually see it, and my big old dome isn't blocking it out while I'm reading this stuff. Note, how to write the alphabet letters A through Z is taught with their phonogram 1 through 26, page 29. Copies of 3-line paper are needed for students to practice on page 31 and 259. And so as you can see, again, kind of referencing back to the skipping around, so page 29, and then, copies of 3-line writing paper are needed for students to practice on page 31 and 259. So it'll be a little bit of back and forth. I highly recommend just to put tabs in there. Okay, I can just flip to it really quickly, boom. And I'm going to do that on my manual, and I'll show you guys that too. Super simple stuff, not rocket science here, but it'll just make it easier when you're flipping back and forth. Fingo, phonetic bingo game, and this is absolutely available in our PayPal store as well, you guys. Highly recommend this. This is great, especially when you guys get further, when you get through teaching the phonograms. When we're done teaching the 72 Orton phonograms, this will be where Fingo really comes into play, because then you can really test your students, but in a fun way, on their knowledge of the phonograms and their sound sequences. Another plug. I'm sorry. The completion of the single letter phonograms is a good place to play Fingo. The completion of the single letter phonograms is a good place to play Fingo and have a fun way to drill those phonogram sound sequences. When decoding or reading, in order to quickly choose the correct sound, the student must know the sound in sequence without hesitation. The first sound is tried and is most often correct. Then the second sound, etc., etc. To all my English as a second language educators / students out there, absolutely check out our ultimate phonics alphabet video in the description below. I think you guys will love that. So if you like and comment and subscribe that will get these videos out to more people who might be looking for educational content like this. That's it for today's lesson, you guys. I hope this was somewhat enjoyable, and I know that some of these lessons might seem like they're a bit more housekeeping than normal, and they kind of are, I guess. But this is going to give you a really great idea of what the program is looking like. Without further ado, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this lesson, like I said, was enjoyable, that you got something from it, that you came away more knowledgeable than the last lesson, or at least with less questions, or maybe you have more questions, which in case I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Just feel free to comment below. I'll answer them. I watch the comment section like a hawk, so I'm in there being a dutiful educator, trying to answer any questions that you guys have. Until next time, my fellow educators, be well and stay classy.